The thick woods of rural Maine, Blackwood Manor had been abandoned for decades. Its once majestic structure now lay in ruins, shrouded in an eerie silence. Legends whispered of its dark past, a family who vanished without a trace one stormy night in 1924, leaving the manor frozen in time. Locals spoke of ghostly apparitions and disembodied cries, but no one dared to investigate, fearing the unknown that lurked within its decaying walls. That was until Sarah, a curious journalist with a penchant for the paranormal, decided to uncover the truth. Armed with a camera, a flashlight, and a tape recorder, she ventured into the forest on a moonless night, determined to document her findings. Her friends warned her against it, but Sarah's fascination with the manor's mystery overpowered any sense of caution. The journey through the dense forest was unsettling, with the sounds of rustling leaves and distant howls accompanying her every step. When she finally reached the manor, its Gothic facade loomed ominously against the night sky. Taking a deep breath, she pushed open the creaking front door and stepped inside. The air was heavy with dust and the scent of decay. As Sarah explored the grand entrance hall, her flashlight beam flickered, casting fleeting shadows that danced on the walls. She tried to steady her nerves, focusing on her mission. In the dining room, the table was still set for dinner, the plates covered in a thick layer of dust. It was as if the family had vanished in the middle of their meal. Sarah set up her camera and began recording, narrating her observations. She described the eerie stillness, the cobweb-covered chandeliers, and the old portraits that seemed to watch her every move. As she moved deeper into the manor, she stumbled upon a hidden door in the library. Behind it was a narrow staircase leading down to the basement. With each step, the temperature dropped, and an overwhelming sense of dread washed over her. In the basement, she found a small, dimly lit room. In the center was an old, ornate mirror, its surface covered in a thick layer of grime. Compelled by an inexplicable force, Sarah wiped away the dust and gazed into the mirror. Her reflection stared back at her, but something was off. The room behind her appeared different, more vibrant, as if it were from a different time. Suddenly, a figure appeared in the reflection, standing behind her. She spun around, but the room was empty. When she looked back at the mirror, the figure was closer, its face twisted in agony. Panic set in, and Sarah turned to flee, but the door slammed shut, trapping her inside. The room grew colder, and she could hear faint whispers all around her. The mirror began to glow, and the whispers grew louder, forming an incomprehensible chant. The figure in the mirror reached out, its hand emerging from the glass. Desperately, Sarah tried to pry the door open, but it wouldn't budge. The ghostly hand grabbed her shoulder, and an icy chill shot through her body. The chanting grew deafening, and the room began to spin. Sarah's vision blurred as she was pulled toward the mirror, her screams echoing through the manor. The next morning, Sarah's friends reported her missing. A search party combed the forest but found no trace of her. Days turned into weeks, and Sarah was presumed dead. Her camera and tape recorder were discovered outside the manor, their recordings intact. On the tape, Sarah's final moments were captured. Her frantic narration, the chilling whispers, and her blood-curdling scream before the recording abruptly ended. Then, 3 weeks to the day after her disappearance, Sarah stumbled out of the forest, disheveled and dazed. Her friends and family were shocked, but overjoyed to see her. She was taken to the hospital, where she slowly regained her strength and memory. Sarah recounted her experience to anyone who would listen. She described the chilling encounter with the ghostly figure and being pulled into another realm. She spoke of a world trapped between the living and the dead, where time stood still and spirits lingered in eternal torment. She explained how the ghost, a woman named Eleanor, had revealed her tragic story. Eleanor had been the matriarch of the family who vanished in 1924. She had unwittingly unleashed a curse upon the manor after performing a forbidden ritual, hoping to protect her family from a deadly illness. Instead, the ritual trapped them all in the mirror's realm, a purgatory where they remained in a state of anguish. Eleanor, filled with regret and guilt, had watched over Blackwood Manor for decades, hoping someone would come to release her family from the curse. When Sarah arrived, Eleanor saw an opportunity. She revealed that the only way to break the curse was to tell their story and expose the truth. Sarah's account was met with skepticism, but the details were too vivid, too specific to dismiss. She had brought back artifacts from the manor: Eleanor's locket, a family portrait, and an old journal detailing the ritual. These items convinced many of the authenticity of her tale. Determined to free Eleanor and her family, Sarah enlisted the help of paranormal experts and historians. Together, they performed a counter-ritual at Blackwood Manor, guided by the instructions in Eleanor's journal. As they completed the ritual, a bright light emanated from the mirror and the air grew warm. The oppressive atmosphere lifted, replaced by a sense of peace. Sarah knew that Eleanor and her family were finally at rest. Blackwood Manor, now free from its dark past, became a site of historical significance. Sarah wrote a book about her experience, ensuring that the story of Eleanor and the curse of Blackwood Manor would be remembered.